What if the software that claims to protect Bitcoin's purity was actually the biggest illusion in crypto? What if the so-called guardian of decentralization was nothing more than a mask, hiding centralization, false promises, and manipulation? Welcome to the truth about Bitcoin Knots, the software that fools thousands into thinking they're defending Bitcoin, when in reality, they're being played. Bitcoin Knots sells itself as an upgrade, an enhanced version of Bitcoin Core, the official client that powers the Bitcoin network. It promises more control, more censorship resistance, more purity. It whispers into the ears of Bitcoin maximalists. Don't trust Bitcoin Core, they've gone soft, run Knots instead. Protect Bitcoin from the invaders. Sounds good, right? But behind the marketing, there's a dark reality. Knots tells node operators, filter the garbage, block ordinals, stop the runes, purge the spam, and users feel powerful, like they're guarding the blockchain from corruption. But here's the truth. Miners decide what gets into blocks. No matter how many filters you set, if miners accept the transaction, it's locked in the blockchain forever. Your node rejecting it changes nothing. That's the illusion. Knots gives you a button, but the button isn't connected to anything. It's like a child steering a toy car, thinking they're driving a real one. Who controls Bitcoin Knots? A single developer, Luke Dashjr. One man decides the policies, the defaults, the philosophy. It screams decentralization while hiding the fact that it is centralized in one human brain. If Luke wants to block something, he blocks it. If Luke wants to change rules, he changes them. Thousands of people think they're running their own node, but in reality, they're outsourcing their beliefs to one man. That isn't decentralization, it's centralization disguised as rebellion. Bitcoin Knots plays on psychology. It tells Bitcoin maximalists, you are the guardians of Satoshi's vision. You are fighting back against corruption. You are purifying Bitcoin. But this is nothing more than ideology wrapped in code. People think they're defending Bitcoin when all they're doing is following one man's ideological crusade. It's religion, not software. Running a Knots node makes you feel powerful. You think you're influencing Bitcoin's direction. But let's be brutally honest. You aren't. Consensus doesn't change because you filtered a transaction. Rules aren't rewritten because you blocked ordinals. It's like shouting at a football game and believing you changed the score. Knots tricks people into believing they're warriors in a digital revolution, when in reality, they're spectators pressing a fake button. Bitcoin's greatest strength has always been unity. One chain, one set of rules, one network. Knots introduces division. It says, don't trust Core, run Knots instead. It encourages splintering, fragmentation, echo chambers. And what happens when enough people follow conflicting rules? You risk a split, a fracture, a weakened Bitcoin. The irony? The software claiming to protect Bitcoin might be the very thing that helps destroy it from within. Knots brags about growth, thousands of nodes worldwide, but let's peel back the curtain. Those nodes don't decide consensus. They don't outvote miners. They don't control Bitcoin. The real power still sits with miners and economic nodes that decide what Bitcoin is. Knots creates the illusion of rebellion, but in reality it's a noisy minority with no steering wheel. Bitcoin Knots isn't just software, it's a cult of personality. It teaches its users to distrust everyone else, Bitcoin Core, miners, innovators, while blindly trusting one man's ideology. And that's the most dangerous part. When decentralization becomes centralization under a new name, when rebels become pawns, when freedom becomes illusion. Compare this to real decentralization, a network where every user is a full node, where validation isn't in the hands of a few, but in the pockets of millions, where ideology isn't forced through one developer but emerges from true peer-to-peer consensus. That's the real threat to the centralized crypto empires, not Knots, not fake censorship buttons, but true decentralization. Bitcoin Knots tells you it's protecting Bitcoin, but what it really protects is an illusion of power, an illusion of purity, an illusion of decentralization. The truth? Knots doesn't save Bitcoin, it fools Bitcoiners, and the longer people fall for it, the weaker Bitcoin becomes. Decentralization isn't a software trick, it's a way of building, and only the chains built for everyone, not for one man's ideology, will survive.